So while that's lighthearted and fun, we have a little bit of fun with Weekend Chel Update. We're about to get real serious here like we do every week. Something's burning Kyle Homan's bag. We're going to get to the bottom of it. And a little segment we like to call Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Unsportsmanlike. Okay. Misconduct. Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Hey fellas, hey ladies. It's time for Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
That was a little bit of an unnecessary intro. Hey ladies, hey fellas, like we've already
Beer
said.
on the
hello.
table. I know.
Are you that worked up? You can't even get your shit together. What do you
I
want
don't
to talk?
know.
What do you want to talk about this week? What's got you uneasy?
I want to talk about. Sorry that we have to bring it back to the Air Canada Centre, because nobody wants to talk about the Air Canada Centre unless you have tickets to games at the Air Canada Centre. But let's talk about those jerseys that the very excited fans spent a lot of money on and threw on the ice.
Actually, which makes a lot of sense because we were talking about Edmonton earlier today too.
Yeah.
So this all kind of ties in together. So recently we saw a jersey get thrown on the ice at the Air Canada Centre after the Leafs' third loss. I think they had only lost 3, and people are already jumping to this.
Throwing the jerseys on the ice. Yeah.
How does that make you feel? You see a Leafs jersey hit the ice.
I'm confused. As a born and raised Leaf fan, I shouldn't say born and raised. I should say as a I've decided to be a Leaf fan in my day, in my life. I'm very conflicted. There's two sides to the story. There's two sides to the frustration, and I feel like this is a great time to cover both sides of it, because I'm not going to sit here and just pick one, because I do know how those guys feel. Mm-hmm. Okay, so on one hand, what are you doing, guys? Throwing a jersey on the ice.
It's a pretty visible protest. You can't argue that.
It's
so
like
the
the
message is getting
waffles.
across.
It's got.
Oh my god, the waffle! All right, what are some of the historic Toronto Maple Leaf ice throwing?
Most of it was. I think it was the waffles. Waffles. Was there a bunch of hot dogs at one point? I don't know. I
remember the waffles distinctly.
I just remember the waffles. Mm-hmm. I remember the waffles, and I remember the jerseys. The jerseys. As soon as the jerseys were starting to hit the ice, I started to feel really conflicted. So on one hand, don't do that. Don't throw a jersey on the ice. Don't be a fucking nincompoop. And kind of, you're throwing not only your jersey, you're throwing a negative vibe. You're throwing your, things like that. The players obviously don't like it. You got Dion Phaneuf saying we don't need fans like that, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, I feel you, Dion. No one wants to be treated that way, especially in such a high stress environment. It's it's like working at a really, really lucrative technology store. I know the feeling, but let's be honest. Are we, as Maple Leaf fans, getting the product that we pay so much money for?
Yeah, it's ludicrous.
And maybe this guy's like, you know what? Fuck this. I spent at least $1,000 moving up to gas, jersey, dinner, girlfriend's tickets, my tickets, beers at the game, and I'm seeing piss poor play out of the most profitable hockey team in the NHL, and that's the side that I do see. Give us a better product.
The interesting flip side to that scenario you just painted, that character you just painted, is that these are some of the most affluent hockey fans in the world. These are the most affluent hockey fans in the world. These are the only people that can actually afford to make this kind of protest. But with that, in a market like this, when you price out everybody else who you would assume would be the real fan, you go to the ACC, all the real fans are up in the 300s. They're in the nosebleeds.
They're way up there.
They're yelling, they're screaming, they're trying to make it a hockey environment. Everybody down in the 100s, the only type of people that can afford that typically they're suits. They're not diehard fans.
That's a problem.
A true fan would never throw a jersey on the ice. These are people who typically don't have the patience for this losing product to begin with, because they don't have that emotional investment in the team to begin with. They're there because it's somewhere to be seen at.
Maybe it's a business dinner plus business entertainment. You brought a bunch of guys from whatever country or state they're coming from, and you need to entertain them. And I see a lot of that. I see the first 5 rows behind the Leafs bench bought up and not filled. You can take a look just over the Leafs bench on a Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, sometimes even a Saturday. You won't see them filled. You'll see gaps.
Yeah, because they've shaken hands and taken off.
They're out of there, and that's fucking bullshit. It's absolute fucking bullshit the way this market works.
This just went from PG-13 to R.
And it just makes me sick to my stomach. I understand the frustration, but at the same time, that frustration that's being displayed, the whole that. However, maybe it was a fan in the way up at the wall, walked
way.
all the way down. You don't think so, eh?
No, I don't think so. And if you're in those nosebleeds, that usher isn't going to let you into the 100s anyway. They check all those tickets.
Yeah,
that
they
is
don't let
like
you. You're
that
right.
is
You're right.
VIP-ville.
You're not going anywhere, pal. And you're not gonna get the jersey over the glass from for the ushers standing at fucking level 200 or whatever.
And an interesting twist of instant karma. When the Toronto Maple Leafs fan threw the jersey onto the ice, upon it hitting the ice, the man's cell phone appeared smashed into pieces. So he didn't even, somehow his cell phone in there didn't take it out. So
What
if you
a
can take any
dipshit.
solace in the fact that this man is now cell phoneless as
Yeah.
well as
my God.
jerseyless, maybe that'll ease your soul a little bit. So let me ask you this. Is that a 10-minute game or a 5-minute major?
It's a 5-minute major.
5-minute major.
It's too much attached to it. 5-minute major.